Hey guys, it's me Rebecca. So this will be the start of another weekly vlog, and so far today I've just done some cleaning and whatnot. My parents have had some work done in our house, so we just haven't really wanted to put up our tree. We did that today, and we decorated to me, my mom and niece, and we also did that some other stuff, which I'm not gonna show you just because I don't really wanna. But yeah, and I have done some reading. If you watched my last vlog, I did start Jade War, which is the sequel to Jade City. And I'm on page 142, and I'm so far really much liking it. I like the politics of everything, like the politics between the two rivaling clans, as well the politics in the country, and as well how the politics in the country is affecting the clans. Like, in order to keep good faith with the people, the clans have to put up a face like that they're getting along, that they're working together, putting a bad blood between them, working together to stop the crime, smuggling, and try and stop the war that's brewing in some of these countries. So seeing all that is very much interesting and really, honestly. So there's that, and really this the two clan members who hate each other got to want to kill each other, feigning peace in a public while, like behind closed doors, they are plotting to kill one another. And we see that as well, like how other members of the clan are trying to help that. Like we see the wife of the pillar of the No P clan, a woman named One. She is able to go to places like the public bath, and no one will suspect her of any harm because she's just a woman still, and she wants to be like something else. So she's able to go there, and where she's able to meet informants from the Wyverland clan who are able to get her information about the ongoings of that Wyverland clan, which I do find interesting, and all of that. And as well, I do find it interesting, like how in other countries there is a similar system. Like there are these clans, or in a country called, what is it? Is Spain, where the cousin Aiden is. He learns that there are these crews who they take money, I guess, payment, I don't know, from businesses, and they're different from the clans because the clans, they offer to protect these businesses, while with the crew it seems like the leader is this greedy man who just wants the money. Like if the people in the crew who are collecting the money don't think it is sufficient amount they're being paid, and they will turn to violence. And I say, like, it's the people that have to make these payments, they're not doing it out of loyalty or because they're gonna get something out of it, they're doing it out of fear. And we do learn that the previous pillar, Lan, his estranged wife, she was pregnant before she left him. She left him for another man. Like, it was in really happy marriage. It seems like it was just he had to marry because that's what he was supposed to do as leader of a clan and whatnot. And she was a greedy woman who only cared about herself and whatnot. But she wrote to him telling him that she's pregnant, that the kid is his. And he wasn't able to open that letter before he died. It wasn't open until the current pillar he's cleaning out the previous pillar's study. And well, it's not him, it's his wife who finds the letter. And I'm very much intrigued to see where that goes, because one, the wife of the current pillar, she is currently pregnant. So I'm intrigued to see if this estranged wife comes back and tries to make a claim saying that that her son is the true heir, because there are discussions of, like, questions of who's gonna inherit, not in this clan but in the Wyverland clan, because the pillar, she's not married, she doesn't have any offsprings of her own. Like, so there's that question. So yeah, I'm just really much like into politics and seeing like the political intrigues what's keeping my interest. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's all for now. I'm quite tired honestly, so yeah, I'll see you when I. So it's the next day and I've just done some cleaning and one I also organized some bits and pieces just to, I guess, do part of the cleaning routine now. And I have done quite a bit of reading of Jade War, and now I'm on page 220, and I'm very much enjoying it. I would say I'm definitely enjoying the political intrigue about this, but I also like seeing like kind of how personal relationships interfere like, with the not interfere, but kind of I guess can interfere with the professional relationships people hold as well, like how personal relationships also come into play in certain ways. Like with our other man Shay, her I think it's like an assistant or someone who works for her, one who was the other man for her older brother who was killed, who was the previous pillar man. He is in love with her. She sees him as a friend, as a colleague, and she is with someone else. And that is interfering in a sense, like he cannot like separate his feelings from work, and he tries to resign, and she kind of refuses to accept his resignation. So there's that. There's also family stuff, like with Halo, he tries to get in touch with his former sister-in-law who doesn't want her son to have anything to do with Green Bones or No Peak, because being the head of the family and really being a part of the family is what killed Lan, who was her husband and a former pillar. Nan, like all of the things he had to do to be like, I guess, this strong figure, and as well everything he sacrificed, she sees it as so dangerous. It's like steel and blood and whatnot. Like, she doesn't want her son to be associated with the family in any way, and so there's that. And we do see how Halo he ends up with kind of getting custody of his nephew and how he tries to kind of get, not tries, but when his son is born 6 weeks after he takes the boy into custody, he tells the two of them, like this newborn baby and this 2-year-old, that they have to watch each other's backs because they are now the new generation of the family, and when he's gone it's up to them to take care of their family. So there's that. And politically, like seeing how she meets with two, oh my word, what is it called? Two officials, like an ambassador and someone else from the country Spain, to discuss jade exports, oh my god, and other official discussions such as like the war surrounding, like with surrounding countries now, and kind of making alliances with them, and she doesn't know that in Spain the officials they passed a legislation that bans jade from that country, and as well later on in the novel Spain does attack in other countries that engulf this war, and so things are happening there. Like, this seems, I don't know, a bit double cross, or trying to keep Nopik, the clan she's part of, in I guess good books with the officials in España. So yeah. One last thing is like, I guess I want to say like the culture shock, I would say, with Aiden, because he is in this country where he doesn't really know the rules and no one's teaching him. Like, he's not told like, oh, fighting's completely illegal in this country, when in España, when he gets into a fight with someone because this person accused him of being a thief, and it was like over accidentally taking the guy's bike thinking it was his, and the guy like saying he'll be after him, and that turns out it's someone who's like in the crew, someone who does have connections to powerful people, even if they're like on low on the power scale thing. No. But we see how he gets saved by the pillar of the local community who promises to help him, and because there's the country is one, it's called Kikon, and like there's also other Cantonese people in this country, so in Spain, so someone's like kind of the leader, and there's two kind of just so it's like more official, I guess. And so there's that shock, seeing how different things are in Israel, because in Spain, the Cantonese they're a minority. They're not able, and as well with the whole laws against jade, and as well people looking down on them, even before it was made illegal, people looking down on them for having jade and having these abilities. People didn't practice out in the open, like people had to practice and train in like a closed gym, like not small gym, I would say is better term. So they aren't so powerful as he's used to, and there's no I made in my phone that I won't share. It's like they just seem less skilled in fighting to women, as well with the fact they're not so open about their culture, about the food they eat, about the traditions they have in other aspects of the culture. It's like they're Cantonese, but also not Cantonese at the same time. Like it's this like in between that just confuses him, and seeing that is quite interesting because he kind of falls in love with him. Well, he doesn't say born because he is half Cantonese. His mother was from Kekon. His father was Hispanic, but he didn't have a relationship with his birth father, and he's never been to Hispania, so the whole culture shock and everything. I don't know, it's just interesting to me, and so, yeah. Seeing that, and as well seeing like the way relationships come into play, again the whole political side of things. Like I think definitely I'm the most intrigued about seeing the politics about it. Like, yeah, I don't know, just seeing the whole thing, and I am, I guess, intrigued to see how how all those three aspects, like the relationships, the politics, how if they do kind of get connected in some way, further down the line in this novel. So yeah, so far I'm very much enjoying my time, even if it is quite done. So yeah, I think that's all for now, and yeah, I'll see you. So it's the next day, and also Merry Christmas Eve. When you're watching this, it will be a couple weeks after Christmas, I believe, but still, and yeah, I personally don't celebrate Christmas, so for me it's just another day, but still. But anyway, I have done some reading of Jade Warren. I'm on page 308, and I'm very much enjoying this. We do see how Barrow, he is like monitoring these people who they've been shipped from another country to K-Con to like mine jade illegally and like scavenge bits and pieces of jade, like small pieces that have been discarded or disregarded really, or just the cleanse this finger in like they're just so small that sometimes really like taking them out of the water they're in. And he is using jade to see like if green bones, like the proper green bones, those who are authorized to wear jade, come on, and he does perceive them, but it's a bit like because they do attack the work area they're in, and they do try to leave, but they fail like the green blondes, they cause the trucks to end up in ditches and whatnot, and they do kill the people who were looking for the jade. And for some reason, they left Barrow and his friend behind to relay a message to their boss. They tell them that the mountain wants to talk, and someone who I believe has quite an important role in a mountain, which is the Wyverling clan to the No Peak, which is the clan that Hilo and others are from. Where he's there, he's involved in the whole thing, and Barrow and his friend, they do tell their boss, and because of the message, and because like they did lose Jade still, they lose favor with him, and they gave him like more less favorable jobs. Like they're not like in jobs that are not in the best conditions, like having to do a fish in a cave. No. Yeah, so he has to work his way back up, and we see how Hilo and Shade meet with a man whose son is kind of, I guess, in competition to be to inherit the position of pillar of the mountain clan, because the current pillar, she doesn't have any children. She does have a nephew, but still, like the family of the nephew is with the other person who is not running, but in line for that position. Both of us don't really want to get along with or work with, and Hilo is trying to find a place or person where he can get along with the new pillar of that clan when the current pillar is like taken out of her position. Like to end the whole feud and whatnot, and to end the war between the clans and whatnot. And this man, he doesn't like the current pillar. It seems like he talks unfavorable about her, which is quite weird because, well, he is part of her clan, but still, like, there are probably decisions she's made, and with the way she rose to power, it did leave a, what is the phrase? Like, kind of a unsavory taste in their mouth, like people about her, so. Yeah, there is that, and while the war is happening, it seems like the clans are using the war to kind of try and ruin each other. Like, no Peak, because of their, I guess, alliance with España. They are using the soldiers are destroying the factories and whatnot of the Mountains clan, and which does ruin them financially through. And with the war, and in order to retaliate, the pillar of the mountain, she reveals Shay's background and her history, really, how she studied in España for a bit, how she gave up her jade, how she even worked with the Spaniards, like to give them information. She even did it when, like, it just ruins her. Shay's how the people, the public perceive Shay, because there is this anti-foreigner kind of thing going around it, and it also is causing people to question if she should be in such a powerful position, because as the weatherman of the no Peak, she is like in charge of the finances behind it, and it's like and people think that Hilo, who is the pillar, should just oust her and kick her out of the clan. She doesn't want, which he doesn't want at all, with everything on. And while this is going on, while Shay is trying to fix the way people perceive her, she also gets some news that might cause more difficulties for her, for other people. It might need people to force Hilo to kick her out of her position, and she's worked hard to get into the position she's in right now. As well, all of the work she's done will come and then if she's kicked out of her position or become like there is some lingering misogyny and old ways of thinking. Like it it was basically impossible for a woman to be in Shay's position while her grandfather was alive, and when he was alive, when he was younger, and finding the clan, women weren't really offered a position in the prestigious school for the people. So things might have changed with the fact she's a woman, but things are still changing. But she does deal with this news in a secretive way. Like I think the only person who knows about this is her sister-in-law, one who helps her with this. And one I would say page, what was it again? 282. She makes this comment that was just quite intro. It was 283. My apologies. She makes this comment to Shay while they're having a conversation. And when it says, we each serve the clan in the way we're best suited, it's like, when as the sister-in-law, as, not the sister-in-law, as the wife of the pillar, as the head of the clan, like she does serve the clan in a way like she does produce prayers for the clan. Like there will be someone who will be in a position to like kind of inherit the clan from him when he eventually dies, and she's fulfilling that service in the sense like she's already given birth to a son, and she is pregnant with her second child. Like with that, I would have to say it was quite like fast because I felt like because we are skipping months and weeks and one on with this novel. It just seems quite fast of her producing children. Like I believe it is stated she's still nursing her firstborn and is pregnant with the secondborn. So yeah, there is, and if she's serving the clan in a sense, she's the weatherman. She's the one who the pillar turns to for advice and to help him deal with the politics of all this, because he hates dealing with the politics of all this. Like he wasn't even supposed to be in a position of pillar in the first place. Like that war was supposed to go to his. It did go to his older brother, but the brother did die, and he's someone who was supposed to be out on the streets, monitoring the way things are, talking to people, not making connections, but kind of like making people feel comfortable and like feel like the clan has their backs. And as well, like he is a fighter, so and there's that, and the whole discussion of like what women have to give up, I guess, is quite interesting, I guess. But yeah, we also do see how she's just had enough of this bashing that the pillar of the mountain seems to do. Like every opportunity the head of the mountain has, she bashes. She continues questioning, like it continues to make people question if she should be the weatherman, if she should even have a position. And she's had enough, so she challenges the pillar to a duel, and they do a duel, and she loses in a sense that she's stabbed in the stomach, or she gets an abdomen injury, and she concedes. And we see this moment like when the pillar of the mountain, she stands over Shay and is debating whether to kill her, to kill the enemy, which will cause vengeance from the pillar of No Peak, who is Shay's older brother, so still older, protective older sibling, and vengeance in general, as well ruining like her own reputation to the public, because people will be reminded that she's this cold-blooded woman who would do anything to keep her position. Like she did kill her brother while he was asleep, and in order to kind of, I guess, not lighten the damage that she's done to Shay. He was reminding, he was kind of talked about this as it was also a bit of a coincidence that the woman's brother happened to fall. Not brother, my no, the pillar's nephew happened to fall sick, and he asked, kind of makes people believe or wonder if she did something to her nephew to take him out. And so there's that. Like, seeing that whole thing was quite interesting. So yeah, and she just I should no, she doesn't kill Shay, but does give Shay the same warning that she'll keep Shay alive while she kills everyone Shay loves and whatnot. So the whole thing is quite interesting, seeing how both with the war between countries and the war between clans can get caught up with one another, as well how personal relationships can get caught up in the business of the clan and everything about that. I don't know, like there's so many aspects of this novel that's quite fascinating to me. So yeah, I think that's all of my thoughts for now. So I'll see you when I see you. And so Merry Christmas. It's the next day when I'm filming this. And so far, and because I don't celebrate Christmas, like it's just been an average day for me. Like I've relaxed a bit, did some laundry and whatnot, like nothing busy or whatever. And I have done quite a bit of reading of Jade War by finally. I was about to say Jade City, but maybe. And I decided to update. Now I do plan to do a bit more reading today, and I decided to update before I get tired because no one needs to see that. Even if you have, but still wanted to update now. We do see how she's involved with someone who's not really a greenbone, and like they're a professor, they don't wear jade at all, and they're not fully Cantonese. Like from their family is entirely from Canton. They're half shortarian, I think it is, which is people from another country, and with the whole like anti-foreigner thing going on right now in Canton, with what Shay recently went through, does ruin her reputation as well. It will also just cause problems. It is also just causing problems because she's not able to be fully open with her partner about the business side of the clan, like because he's not a greenbone, he doesn't wear jade or anything. He's not part of the clan, like he cannot really know about the ongoing stuff, and it is causing problems. And because he saw her like outside of her being the weatherman, this important figure in the Nopi clan, he realized he only allowed himself to see this certain part of her, the certain half of her, not the other part of her, the greener part of her. And so there's that, and there's also the fact like she cannot promise that she won't keep important things from him. So they decide just to be friends for now, and yeah, there's that. But I didn't like see like how the relationships you have and with who you have the relationships with can be affected by like so many factors when it comes to the clan. Like if they are greenbone, if they were jade, if they are actually part of the clan, and if they are fully Cantonese or not, or like if that will cause problems and whatnot. So I think that's quite interesting. And we do then jump back to Aiden in España, and with the ban of jade there, he sees what people are willing to do to wear jade. Like or to be able to continue to earn jade and not lose it, such as join the army, or an army where that's against their people and would hurt them. And you also see that there's this like street war between the green bones in España and local street crews. Like the local street crews are attacking like the community center of the Catanese, and as well like businesses and whatnot, like the whole thing. And it seems like it's really because the people, these crews, they believe that the Catanese are like, they have jade and they think like they're hoarding it, and they are training so they have more abilities than the street crews, and it scares them, and they want to remind the Catanese like, when it comes to like the social arc in this country, that they are below them and they have the ability to attack them, to harm them, to ruin their community. So anyway, that I guess I not like it, but I find that discussion interesting. So yeah, so she decides like to go to Espanadas because like the Espans, they have the advantage as over the Piccan, because they do have people from their army in Catalan. While Catalan has no people in España. Like the Espans, they know the lifestyle of the people in Catalan. They know like the laws of the country, and like ways people live their life. And with no pick, they are ignorant about what's happening in España. Like they might, I don't know if they're getting updates from Aiden about the whole Jade thing. I don't really think so. It seems like she's just keeping in touch with him just to let him know about family matters. And Halo, he sees her point, but because of the whole recent thing with the rival clan Pillar trying to destroy Shay's reputation and oust her from the clan, he decides it's too risky to allow Shay to go, and instead he will be the one who will go over and see how he meets with the pillar and of the kind of pillar in his terms, because there's no official like clan in Kiton. It's more he's the pillar because it's like what the older generation knows, and this is for their comfort. And he meets with the pillar, and he decides to meet with the bosses of the crews because to set the way to stop the street war. During this meeting, he decides he's gonna tell them he's gonna sell jade to them because like in the sake of like to help his clan financially in the war with the rivaling clan, and they'll get jade that they feel the Catanese in Espinal are hoarding for themselves if they agree to stop attacking businesses and communities and those who are involved, like those in the area where the Catanese are, and those who are in charge of the area of like the docks and whatnot. They agree to this, and so yeah, I am in the middle of that whole scene. So it's really intriguing to see where else that goes. And yeah, so far I'm really much enjoying this, and yeah, I think that's all my thoughts for now, so I'll see you when I see you, which will probably... So, it's the next day, and I've had to run a couple errands and whatnot, which I didn't film this close. I was driving, and it wasn't anything interesting, it was just some shopping I had to do. But I have done some reading of Jade War, and I'm on page 464, and I am very much enjoying it. I do like with Hilo, he doesn't understand Español, which is the language spoken in Español, but he can still understand what people are thinking and saying during the conversation he's having with the bosses. in a sense, like he, with their body language, like that can sometimes also speak louder than words, like what people are truly thinking and feeling. And he's observing their expressions and gestures, the way they sit in, the way they sat in relation to one another, and their tone of voices. Like he also used his abilities to perceive like their heartbeats, pose, breath, and body twitches, signaling subtle changes, turnouts of emotions in their conversation, like what I think. I don't know. I always find that interesting. Like, you can learn a lot with what someone's body is saying just by reading them in that way. Interesting. And we learned that the JT promised the crews is like lesser quality stuff. Like those still have some abilities, but not much. But the pillar, he is worried because like that's still giving them like dangerous stuff and a lot of power. And he promises him he'll have more power over the crews because he'll give him more, the more powerful, the more better quality jade. And as well manpower, and it's really like, and he likes this guy, likes the pillar, like he's received respect, and yeah, like he's received the respect and trust from the pillar, and as well he also wants the pillar to help him because of the fact that no Pequan is expanding to Espinal, like with by having a location, a weatherman location there, so someone there he can also trust, and they also need help. So it's making that deal with the pillar, and as well we learned that he intends for Aiden to also help out, which Aiden is upset with because he's already been shipped out of his country. He thinks he was kicked out, and like for 2 years, and he now learns it might be longer before he's able to return home, and that does upset him because even if he's built a life for himself in Espanol, he doesn't really consider himself even. He still considers himself fully Catanese, like that's where he grew up. And I get why he did this, because he sees it as protecting alien, like people in Janlun, in a city in Catan, they will look down on him and see him like in similar light, like a recovering addict. I mean, he has someone who has this powerful last name, and yet he refuses to wear jade, so it's like people will look down on him, and he doesn't want that for his cousin. So I get where that's coming from, and family bonds. And speaking of family bonds, we do have this scene where thinks he caught the person who killed his brother and took his jade. And well, he did take some of the jade. He didn't kill Lan, but he made a mistake of boasting about it in a bar, just because some girl said something to him and it upset him. And teenage boy stuff, honestly. And they decided just to torture him in a lovely way. Like, he wants jade, he'll have the freaking jade, but he will be overexposed to it, and without a certain drug that can help control it, it will kill him. And they bury this guy like in a grave, essentially 5 feet under. But they do give him like a breathing tube, and they didn't catch the real person, which I think will still try and do something to regain the jade that was taken from him. We get this scene this sequence of events really where these foreign investors for the illegal mining, they want to take Halo out, try and stop No Peak from stopping them, and so they plant a bomb in his car. The thing is, the car was only in a parking garage at the mansion before it left the property, and it wasn't even Halo driving. Hilo was in a business meeting, and his wife and their children were at a picnic in this park, like a park where it's in their territory, and it should be safe. And his brother-in-law was driving, and when the brother-in-law gets out of the car, it explodes, killing him. So they learned that there was a mole somewhere in the house, and Shay's ex-boyfriend friend, they turned themselves in because they were the ones who were involved. He was gonna meet with these people from this humanitarian organization that he was a part of, and it seems like that meeting did occur, and that someone, like one who was working for this investor, snuck into it and planted the bomb. The thing was, the ex-boyfriend, he didn't really have a choice because they threatened his family to live in another country, and while he didn't know exact planning, when he is still responsible for getting them into the house and setting up the meeting that allowed them to plant a bomb. And she decides to kill him in a way that's probably the most merciful way he could have gone, because even though he's not the one who planted the bomb, or he is still responsible for the people who got him to get in. So he would have been tortured by Hilo, who was upset and grieving, and he would have been killed anyway. So, and this death affects Shay so much. Like when her eldest brother died, or when her grandfather died, she was still able to carry on. But with this death, it seems like she just gave up. Like she stopped eating, she stopped caring of what was happening in the weatherman office. Like she just stopped caring. And she continues this until her sister-in-law makes her, like, I don't know, go back to work to try and snap out of it, because the sister-in-law, she also, like, since when the children are older, she wants to get back to work herself, so she needs Shay, I think, to help her get a job, but really, like, help her and kind of maintain status in the currency. And Shay really is, I think, that because she has regrets. Like she did everything she did was to keep him safe, and, like keep him at a distance at the clan, and her decisions as a weatherman had put him in danger, and it had hurt him, and eventually led to his death. So yeah, I think she does have regrets, and I'm just curious to see how this death impacts Shay, how things will move on from here, and what the next move for Beryl will be now that his friend is dead. And a lot of questions, and I think I don't know if I'm planning to do any more reading today, but if I do, I'll probably just let you know tomorrow. So yeah. So it's the next day, and I just got back from running some errands. I just did the rest of my grocery shopping, and just looked at a couple after Christmas sales. Didn't get anything in those sales, but got my groceries. So, and I also did finish Jade War, and I am giving it 5 stars. I very much enjoyed it. Like I kept wanting to read this more and more, like know what's happening next and whatnot. Like I would have to say what intrigued me the most was definitely like the whole political things and how it can interfere with the clan's missions and what they want to accomplish, and as well not only the political, like in like these two countries and other countries and all this war talk, but also the politics between the clans, and how in public they have to act like they're getting along, there's no bad blood and anything. And yeah, that was intriguing me. We do see the two rivaling clans, they do agree to stop this whole jade smuggling thing. And we do see how it seems like it's just no peak. They're just taking down like places where this ring is happening like small businesses, like extremely small, not small businesses, but like I guess more hidden businesses and people who are being smuggled in to do the smuggling and digging, but they're not able to get to the head of the whole thing, who is in another country that they are currently banned from, and he's just hiding behind a very well protected mansion. So, and he has the police in his pocket, like, and with that whole thing, we even if the two clans agree to work together, we really don't see how the mountain is contributing to this effect. To help No Peak, it seems like it's No Peak in doing all of the hard work. Yeah, it also turns out that the mountain might have been somewhat responsible for the bombing by the pillar telling the head of this ring that they are not able to do anything against No Pig because of this public agreement to put the street war behind them. It's not doing anything to stop this head from going after Hilo and others in No Pig. So they take out the competition, and the mountain, the name of the other clan, will accommodate the smuggling. So there's that, and where else? I think that's all for that part. And we do learn from Hayden that things are not so good in España. Well, good for the Green Bonds. The crews have been leaving them alone, but it seems like the crews have kind of gone against one another. The leaders becoming paranoid that someone's taking more jade, someone's sabotaging the effects to get jade into their crew. So they're going after one another, trying to kill another, and a street war between the crews breaking out. We do learn that No Peak has an opportunity to kill the head of the smuggling ring, as he will have to go to España for a kidney transplant. So that's a perfect opportunity, and Aiden does get involved. Hilo asks him to kill the guy, and he goes to the pillar in España to ask him to borrow his oh my word, what is it? There was a word that I wanted to say, but I'm thinking it out completely. His horn, who's like, I guess his second in command, the one who's like off the muscle one, I guess, essentially, and as he does wear gloves, as he does have jade, he's able to have a lot of abilities. The pillar somehow knows about Aiden's relationship with his son, even though the son tried to hide his relationship from everyone. And the pillar just wants Aiden to break it off with his son, as he thinks his son is unserious and whatnot, and he wants his son to grow up and take things more seriously, and we see the outcome of that. And then we just see the sequence of events of the pillar of the mountain killing those who would kind of not who would ruin her plans to accomplish what she wants to accomplish, legislation she wants to go through, and how she also eliminates those who are her competition, who want to dethrone her and whatnot. Now she pulls her nephew closer, and it's ruining Hilo's plans to eliminate her and put who he wants in position of pillar of the mountain clan in position. So there's that stress he has to deal with, and there's also the kind of a bit of a struggle we see of, and we also learn of how exactly Aiden is gonna kill the head of the jade smuggling ring, which is by having him pretend to be a reporter, the horn of España, acting as a photographer. And their plan is it seems like it's compromised by the fact that the day off or the day before, the head of the smuggling ring, he has them change location. So initially they were gonna do it in this garden where the horn. He wears these gloves that have jade in them, and he was gonna hide them prior to the meeting and put them out when he needed them. And the smuggling ring guy, he's like, no, we're doing it in my hotel room, and so it's having them lose the opportunity to do that. And he's also stressed because his son, he accidentally swallowed some jade, and he's worried about that because you're not supposed to give jade to extremely young children, as there can be consequences. So he's worried about that. Like, he tries to call this meeting off and completely, and Shay tells him that's not possible, that they won't have this opportunity, that and the smuggling ring guy will be suspicious if they call it off last second. They do come up with another plan. Well, Shay comes up with another plan that involves one who hasn't told her husband like her business with the clan, let's say, and yeah, she gets involved. She goes with Aiden and this horn and acts like the note taker. There's jade in her pen, so there's that. And they're successful in killing the guy and of his bodyguards, but they do run into problems when one of the crews goes after them. Really, they're able to leave the hotel where the where the jade smuggling guy is staying at, but they're ambushed at the hardware store where Aiden worked, and he had the key, so they were just gonna dispose any evidence of them doing the killing and flee the country. But anyway, one of the crews shows up because they hate Catanese people and think anyone wearing jade's an enemy, so they want to eliminate them. That and one of the people in the crew still wants his revenge on Aiden for the fight they had earlier on the novel. So they kill the horn, they kill one, and they almost kill Aiden when the pillar of Espinel shows up and saves him. And we see Aiden, like, puts on jade for the first time and saves one's life, resurrects her, and that makes him reconsider the way he wears jade, because the reason he stopped wearing jade is it scared him because he had to kill someone who was harming the clan in a previous novel, and he didn't like the fact wearing jade while he was killing this guy had on him, like, it just scared him, the power he felt, and he didn't want that, so that's why he stopped wearing jade. But he realized he can actually do good by wearing jade, and he decides, like, when he's back in Keton, back in Janlin, that he will go to medical school to try and help those. So I do like that and whatnot. And yeah, we just see in the epilogue how Beryl, who has stopped wearing jade completely, he decides to join this revolution of those who don't like jade wearers, who hate the clans and want to eliminate them. Like, they think those who wear jade just have too much power, and the jade's like a horrible thing. And while Beryl does have experience wearing jade, and he kind of sees why. He just hates the clans more, and he's really doing to just get rid of the clans, so that's really how the novel ends. So, yeah, and we do see more like family stuff with Jade, because it turns out Hilo's son, he doesn't respond when he has Jade near him. Like, he doesn't react, which isn't really a good thing, because you're supposed to be able to react and respond when you're near Jade or wearing it, and that makes him a stone-eyed, which would make people look down upon him in Keton. And when she does blame herself because she is stone-eyed herself, but I guess she feels like she failed to do good for Hilo and give him to her, and that's why she was so adamant about him going for Len's son and adopting him into the family, so he was half a heir and someone who is able to carry on the line. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I very much enjoyed this novel, and yeah, and I think the next book I'm gonna read, which will probably be tomorrow, is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. So yeah, I'm very much excited to read that, and yeah, I think that's all for now. So I'll see you. So it's the next day, and it's quite a dreary day of this rain and whatnot, and it's making me glad I ran all of my errands yesterday because I have no desire to leave my house today. But I have done quite a bit of reading, and I did start and finish Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This is quite short. The story itself is like 114 pages, and there's extra stuff at the end, like explaining the history and I guess the inspiration behind the novel is for like the acknowledgements and whatnot. But with this, it takes place in the small Irish town, and in the weeks leading up to Christmas, Bill Furlong, a coal merchant and family man, faces into his busiest season. Early one morning, while delivering an order to the local convent, Bill makes a discovery which forces him to confront both his past and the complicit silences of a town controlled by the church. And when we first meet Bill, we do learn about his history. We learn that his mother was, she was working for this widow named Mrs. Wilson when she fell pregnant out of wedlock. Like, it seems like the father was never in Bill's life. Like, he was raised by his mother, by Mrs. Wilson, who took him under her wing, and by another worker there, Ned, who, towards the end of the novel, like, someone points out there might be a resemblance between Ned and Bill, which causes Bill to start to wonder if Ned's actually his father, but that's never confirmed, really. But I did like seeing, like, there was still a father figure in his life, someone to teach him stuff that the father should do, like how to shave and whatnot. But Bill, we see like I guess first instant, of him being put in a fortunate position because Mrs. Wilson, when someone in her house got pregnant, when one of her workers, she could have fired Bill's mother and sent the both of them away and whatnot, but she didn't. She kept his mother on and allowed him to stay. And yeah, as I mentioned, Mrs. Wilson did take him under her wing and taught him and gave him jobs and teach him how to read and whatnot. And we now see in present day his own life, really, like with his job and the fact he has a beautiful wife and 5 daughters. Like, it's mentioned later on in a when he's at the convent. Like, he might also be a bit misfortunate because of the fact like he has 5 daughters. Like, no one will carry on the family name, and it's like his mother gave him her name, and so it's like it doesn't really matter to him if he has daughters, if he has sons, his children are healthy, and it seems like all that matters to him. So he, I guess, he doesn't take things for granted. It doesn't seem like he's not taking it for granted with the fact like he has 5 children. Like, he has children, they're healthy, and they're doing going to school, and that's all that matters to him. Like, he doesn't seem like he's at a disadvantage or he looks down on his wife or anything for not giving him a son. So I do like that, and he and his wife, they seem to be like, I don't know, it's the way they talk, but sometimes like gossip, like the elves of others, and small stuff that this conversations about people that don't have an effect on them or an impact, like it's like insignificant stuff. And Bill, he knows how easy it would be to lose everything we have in life and how fortunate he is compared to some of his countrymen, like how people abandon their animals to leave the country for a better life, how women have to line up in order to get their children's allowances every Sunday. Like he knows he is in a fortunate position, like with his experience in life, he knows that. Like, it seems like he does take things for granted in certain ways, in a sense, like when he's making deliveries during the Christmas period, like the people, his customers, I guess, they give him like these gifts, these presents, and to him, he doesn't feel like he's given anything in return, like he's taken them for granted. But in my opinion, he and what he's doing is like, I guess, a gift to them, like with his presence. They're getting a call, and the call they need to make fire to bring warmth. So he is, I guess, giving them the gift of warmth, and they don't have to, so they don't have to go through this cold season. I guess he doesn't realize, and then I don't know, he doesn't really realize that he's also doing good to others and ways that might be not inconsiderate, but like small to him, but they are a big deal to others, because it seems like in this town they have to be careful of their finances, of what what they buy and what they spend money on. Like if one needs to change the engine in his lorry, in his truck, he cannot give his wife new windows that she wants to prevent the draft. So they have to make careful. They have to be careful about the choices they make when it comes to spending a large amount of money in that regard. And we do see when he makes this delivery of call to this like training school. It's like a school or the convent that's run by nuns, where girls who have like low character, like the girls who fall pregnant when they're young and not married, and those girls who are like not wanted by society, they go and they're supposedly supposed to receive an education and whatnot. But when he gets there, like the doors are locked from the inside, preventing anyone from getting out. And the doors are locked when he leaves. And he sees that these girls, like some of them are on the floor scrubbing and cleaning. One girl who's from Dublin, she asks him to take him to the river in the town so she can kill herself. So, and yeah, life goes on. And when he makes another delivery of code, there's no one there to answer him, so he just starts putting in a code sheet. And he finds a lock, and when he unlocks it, he finds a young girl there. Like, I think she's like 15, and she tells the nun when he's in her presence that she was playing hide and seek and she was locked in, but like she seems scared to say things. Like she's afraid of how the nun will react if she doesn't say the right thing, or if she does something wrong. Like it seems like she's just afraid, and we do see this kind of the way that they're not, these nuns, these workers, they're not afraid to show or hint at the violence these girls might receive if they step out of line. Because when she's in the kitchen, when Bell's about to leave, I think cook like gestures or makes something with the frying pan, and it silences the girl. So in a way they know, because they have a power in town, that no one's gonna do anything about this. And Bill, he feels the sense of guilt for taking the money that's for the call and leaving the girl there. Like, he, I guess, cannot help but think, like, what if it was his mother in this position? And I guess it's also stronger. The feeling gets stronger because the girl Sarah, I mean, he says that is his mother's name, so he cannot help but see, like, this could have been his mother's alternative if Mrs. Wilson didn't show this kindness towards his mother. And most of my notes are just like things I already mentioned. And he does like at the end of his shift, like he picks up his Christmas present for his wife and then wanders around town. And then he goes back to the convent, back to the coal shed. And again, the girl Sarah, she's in there again, and he takes her away. He plans to take her to the priest's house, and along the way he encounters people in town, people he knows, people he doesn't, and they all look down on this girl, and they're talking to him as if she's not there, she's not a little girl. Like, they see the state she's in with the fact she's barefoot in this cold weather, and that her hands and feet are covered in black soot or something, and yeah, they know what he's done. And he does know, like, what he's done will have various consequences, but he is doing what he feels is right, and giving kindness an opportunity for a better life. Like, so yeah, I do like that message of gratitude, and really just showing kindness to others, even if others don't. So yeah, is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, I think that's really it. Like, overall, I did enjoy this. It was quite interesting. I did like the writing style. How, I guess because we are in a winter setting, it's quite bleak and quite straightforward. And, yeah, I think why not? It's the perfect time of year to read this because it does take place around the Christmas season, and we see like as well the priorities of his wife compared to his, because his wife, she did grow up in a position of privilege, like of having things, like she didn't have to worry about the fact like she might be kicked out of her house or something, or that she doesn't have to think of the alternative, like of having a different life than what she had, because it seems like she had like somewhat normal life, like with two parents, and she goes to church and makes sure like the kids are healthy, that there's a routine in place, and the routine is something I also find interesting right now, because Bill, he does mention how we do things repeatedly, we do the same things over and over, and we don't take time to stop and reflect, like what if we did this instead of that, like how might our lives change something, because what with doing the same things every day, there's a consistency in making sure that our life is consistent, that we don't do anything that's like out of the norm, or we do things that's, I guess, expected of us. So yeah, I definitely know this is the last book I will finish in 2024, because my next read is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Jojo Mears, and no way in hell am I reading 379 pages in like 3 days. Like, I don't think I will be doing any more reading today. And who knows, but yeah, probably not, just because I do like kind of starting a new book on a new day, just because I feel like it's more fresh and it gives me more time to digest the previous book. I don't know why I'm on my hand, but yeah, and yeah, I think that's all for now. I was just thinking of when this video is gonna go up, and it's hopefully gonna go up next week after the New Year's. So yeah, Happy New Year's. Hope 2025 does well to you. I hope everything you wish to accomplish in 2025 you're able to accomplish. And yeah, that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, tell me what you've been up to recently. If you want to, please subscribe to this channel, and if you want to follow me on any social media, then all those things are on the down bar below. I'll see you guys next time.